What is Mentimeter? For some of you, you may be very familiar with this. You can actually visit the website menti.com, and you can, it's free. Okay? These are all free apps, and you can actually just go through it. But I will just share on how I use it in my class to assess students in an engaging way. You can build interactive presentation. It's just like a normal PowerPoint slide presentation. You can also engage them. There are some scales, and also you can do follow-up once you get the results. Now, this is the way, while Poll Everywhere is also almost similar. They actually overlap some of their similarities. That's why this is also my favorite. They create engaging activities for the students. They can also create activities, monitor, and you can also instantly export your these grades to your LMS. So for Mentimeter, these are like an example of it. This is a screenshot of a Mentimeter. You can use multiple choice. It's just like using a PowerPoint slide presentation. But actually, the good thing about this is that you have a lot of options. You have a lot of options so that you can give variety of assessment in a more engaging way. If you explore Mentimeter, they have a variety. You can use multiple choice. The one that we just used a while ago is a word cloud. And then you can also use open-ended questions, even scale, ranking, Q&A. They even have select answer. They type their answers and so much more. And this work almost similar with your PowerPoint slide presentation, the way how you can navigate them. Copy, paste pictures, type. It's almost similar, so it's user friendly. Now, these are some of my samples. Now, also you have this part. So these are some of my samples on how I use Mentimeter in assessing students in an engaging way. Now, before I actually develop my own summative test, I use Mentimeter to actually gauge where are they in my topic. Like I post this scale and ask the students, how are you confident with the following topics? And then after that, when I found out the results, I was able to actually create an assessment that is highly suitable for them. So they are very much comfortable with the topic movement in and out of substances. And maybe they are not that confident in the topic cells. On the other hand, I was also able to use word cloud. And in this word cloud, they were able to actually express what is their strongest topic. And from this, you can see that the larger the text, the more students are answering this. You can see I only have 17 students who answered from this. And from those 17, okay, you can see that they are very, very confident with this three topics. And also, okay, I use this kind of Mentimeter, the multiple choice, wherein you can add multiple write your answers, wherein they were able to write their answers, and you can see how many students answer this part. From this, I was able to gauge my topic, my lesson to them, and then from this, I can actually construct my assessment in a more suitable way for my students. And another thing, okay, which can actually help them to become more motivated and engaged is that there is this part where we can actually input leaderboard. Now, students are very, very much active, especially if there's competition. Like in my class, sometimes some of my students use the word 𝗙𝗂𝘁𝘂𝘁. They always want to be on top on this, even just like few points, and they are very, very competitive. And one good thing about this, if you're school or if you are using Zoom, it's easy to use this because it is embedded in the app part of the Zoom. You can just click Mentimeter, and from that, you can just log in, and then whatever activities you made, it's directly from Zoom. They will send the QR code, or they will just send links so that they can access it easily. That's how user-friendly it is. And at the same time, they are engaging our students. Now, for Mentimeter, this is the way how I use it for MCQ. Most of the time, I use content-based questions, type answer questions, wherein I can ask fill in the blanks or even short response, still a content-based question. While for word cloud, you can actually use it to introduce your lesson. And as you introduce the lesson, you can actually use this to scaffold the things that they know. Or maybe you can use this, like for example, when you try to introduce photosynthesis, they might have some misconceptions. They might have some misconceptions with photosynthesis, or scale to check the student's personal understanding of the topic, and even leaderboard to actually increase their motivation. On the other hand, Poll Everywhere is so much simple, and they are almost similar with the Mentimeter, wherein you can also use multiple choice, word cloud, Q&A, survey, open-ended, and a lot more. For those who are geography teachers, they also have here Pin the Map, donut chart. For those who are economics teachers or business teachers, you can actually use this different kind of way on how they will way to use Pollmeter. So this is the way how I use Pollmeter for MCQ. You can also insert a picture, and then you can insert a question, and then from the choices, you can also, it's clickable. It's clickable. And another thing where I use open-ended, again, I can attach picture, because biology is a lot of process. That's why I use a lot of pictures in my assessment. So that's why they can actually answer this. And also, you can use this to check their emotions, not emotional part, but the way how they understand. It's also, you can this one can also serve as a reflection to us teachers on how we did for today. And one good thing about this is that they can actually text. They can actually, if they have another second device, they can text their answers. Usually it's like +62 for Indonesia. They can text their answers and you can receive it. There are different ways in order for them to interact with you. And one good thing about Poll Everywhere, once you download their app, it can be embedded in the PowerPoint slide presentation. So like what I did, no need for you to actually open the tab or change tabs and everywhere. So these are the common things where I use Poll Everywhere. Again, same thing with MCQ content-based questions, icebreaker to introduce the lesson, and also emotion to check the student's personal understanding of the topic. And they also have a competition part where you can actually increase the motivation for the students. Now, key learning points, I hope you will try to explore different ways on how to assess students' learning and also engage students for a more meaningful learning. Again, like what I have said before, it will allow them. It will allow you to assess students without them knowing that they are being assessed. And the last part, which is very personal to me, it's a self-reflection for us teachers to know how we are actually teaching and how are they understanding our lesson. And for the tips, give an appropriate thinking time. I do believe with Kagan Spencer about giving thinking time before you actually give your questions. For us teachers, we already know what we are asking and we already know what's the answer. If we give them appropriate thinking time, so while you are making this up, make sure you give them appropriate thinking time while you are constructing the question. Next, a bite-sized assessment. I think in the previous session, one of the teachers said, plan your lesson 10 minutes time or 10 minutes short lesson, so that after that you can give just a bite-sized assessment to assess them, to assess what they learned through this 10-minute small lesson. And last, since this is an application, I suggest that you should test your work before administering it.